It's the International Soccer Preview. We are Soccerphiles Canada. Welcome to Series 30, looking at the players of the 2025 Gold Cup. This episode is looking at the players of Dominican Republic. Part 1, the candidates. Here we go. Let's move on to Section 3. And I want to welcome new listeners to Section 3 because we're also releasing this as a short version on Part 1 of Dominican Republic's players. So in the full version, we introduced the candidates and their likelihood of making the final squad. And we also summarized each position to see who has been occupying it since the 2023 Gold Cup. So for those just listening to the short version here, you can refer to the full version for reasons as to why we put the players where we're putting them. And for those who are continuing on from Section 2, this basically adds as a review or acts as a review. And we're not going to concern ourselves here with the starters. That'll be our concern in Part 2. But here we're just talking about the possibility of players reaching the final squad. So here we go. We start with the manager, Marcelo Nevelet. We will probably put him as a likely to definite to continue through the squad. Goalkeepers, we have definite candidate Xavier Valdez and likely candidates Miguel Lloyd and Pascual Ramirez. Those are the main candidates. We won't go into those names that are possible but unlikely or seemingly off the squad, but we will return to them if they are selected for the final squad. Defenders, we begin with a lot of central defenders because Dominican Republic uses a three-man central defense. So we have a definite candidate in Louis de Lucas, and 5 likely candidates in Cesar Garcia, Michael Sambataro, Christian Scheussenger, Noah Dollenmeyer, and Miguel Andre Beltre. Sorry, that's Miguel Angel Beltre. Those 5 likely candidates. Also 3 possible candidates in Brian Lopez, Alexander Vidal, and Alexander Romero. Moving on to left back, we have a definite candidate in Junior Firpo. He's coded as a left back, but actually mostly plays as an attacker, as a left winger or elsewhere in the attack. And we have likely candidate Michael Sambataro, who we mentioned as a central defender. So I'll just quickly explain that he's played in the 3-man defense and is their usual left back when it is a defensive position. So we put him in both categories here. Michael Sambataro, a likely candidate, along with Juan Familio Castillo. And we also have a possible candidate in Alex Siriaco. So we do have a few new players. I can't go into detail in this review, but like Juan Familia Castillo, just coming into the squad recently and potentially taking over starting positions there. So a bit of an interesting story that we talked about in Part 2 or in Section 2. Right back position, we have no definite candidates, but we have a likely candidate in João Urbaez, and then 2 possible candidates in Ernesto Trinidad and Guillermo de Pena. Moving on to the midfield, the formation that Dominican Republic uses is 75% of the time a 3-2-2-2-1 formation. So if you envision that in your head, you're going to see 2 defensive midfielders, 2 wingers who are usually defensemen pushing up, and then 2 attacking midfielders, but no central midfielders in that formation. So we have a lot of defensive midfielders, but not many central midfielders. 3 defensive midfielders at the likely level, none at the definite level. The 3 likely ones are Heinz Morschall, who's actually an attacking midfielder, but in this period coming back to a more defensive role. We have Angel Montes de Oca and then Lucas Breton, all 3 of those likely candidates. coded as a central midfielder, but really playing as the main defensive midfielder and definite candidate is Captain Jean Carlos Lopez, who has started all games for them since the start of 2024. We also have a possible central midfielder in Omar de la Cruz. Because they don't use a 4-3-3 formation that much, we don't have any players coded as left or right midfielders. And so we move on to attacking midfield and left attackers. So that could be, depending on the formation, an attacking winger, an attacking midfielder, or even a forward in a 4-3-3 formation. The candidates here are Ronaldo Vasquez, a definite candidate, and then two likely candidates in Idarlin Reyes and Juanca Pineda. And we also have we look at right attackers, no definite candidates over there. And in fact, two of the candidates are coded as left wingers, but we move to the right because that's where they've been playing. The first of these is likely candidate Rafael Nunez. And then we have Peter Federico Gonzalez, another of the new players just coming into the squad. And the other player coded as a left winger is possible candidate Edison Azcona. Finally, we have central attacking midfield position, which they do use sometimes. And we have no candidates here. We had one, but we moved him to the defensive midfield position. So we have no candidates that are at the possible level or higher for central attackers. We also have no secondary strikers, players coded as secondary strikers. So we move on to forwards, where we have definite candidate Dorney Romero, no candidates at the likely level, and then three candidates at the possible level. The first is Eric Paniagua or Eric Japa. I've seen both names used. We also have Mariano Diaz and Carlos Ventura. So those are the players. There's always one or two that are surprisingly not selected, and then one or two who are brought in late. In terms of injuries, we have the central defender, Christian Scheussenger. I'm not dead sure how to say it, but Christian, I'll go with Scheussenger. He's out with a knee injury since late February, and as of this recording on May 8th, he is still injured. So not looking good for him. He came in as a starter towards the end of the period, the end of, I'd say, mid-2024. Started a lot, but then was injured for the March games. So a bit of a concern since he was starting. And that's it for injuries. So we won't go. I will put Christian Scheussenger in the unknown category. We don't know if he's going to recover or not. We'll have to cover that in part 2. Closing thoughts. Well, for the big teams especially, we wonder if they're going to send their best. For the smaller teams like Dominican Republic, we wonder if some of the players they've recruited from abroad, especially from Spain, will be playing in the Cup. And then we're wondering if some of the new players who were just brought in towards the end, if they're going to be the starters or the players who are in the position more over the past couple of years will retain their positions. So that's really just what we're thinking about for Dominican Republic. Let's finish with a preview of part 2. So again, part 1 focused more on the candidates and their likelihood of making it. Part 2 focusing more on who is selected and who the starters will be. So we'll be looking at any notable non-selections. That's players at the likely or definite level who don't make it to the squad. Any surprise inclusions that we didn't expect. Any new players that come into the squad between now and the tournament, and then any updates on injuries with a special eye towards Christian Scheussenger. Okay, that is it. That is part 1, and we hope that helps you enjoy the Gold Cup, and we look forward to part 2. We would like to thank Future Bass for the wonderful music you hear in this podcast. The title is called Alone.